Okay, I'm gonna actually not use Premiere anymore. I just wanted to point out this title thing. I'm sure you're starting to get used to it. We'll come back to Premiere towards the end of class and make our movie about the man who goes back in times and warns himself not to be bad. You ever want to go back in time and warn your future self? Go back, 10 years. Don't do that. 20 years. Maybe even 30 years. Some of us are old, maybe 30 years. Okay, so I'm going to start a new program today, and it's going to be After Effects. I don't know if we've looked at it yet. It's located under Application. You might not have it here. You might have it here. It's AE here. If it's not in your dock, you might have to go to the Applications folder. In the Application folder, you can open up After Effects. After Effects was originally a scientific program. In fact, the people that invented After Effects was a company called COSA. COSA stands for something called an organization science. S was science. I don't know. I was at an Adobe convention one time, and they had that question for a free T-shirt. You could win a free T-shirt if you know who originally made After Effects. And COSA. I want a free T-shirt. Okay, so COSA. Now, if you get this message, don't worry about it. Just warning you that you should download some software to improve the rendering capabilities of the program. Okay, and if you already we already have a new project, don't we? Yeah, it's a new project. All right. Okay. So this program is what we refer to as a compositing program or an effects program. I don't really edit video in this program. I do things that are 30 seconds, 40 seconds, or less. I don't like to do things that are very long in this program. How the program works is by using a composition, and you'll notice right here in the big screen is something called a composition. Over here is where you can have artwork that you would import. Down at the bottom down here is the timeline where you animate. By default, it makes one that is exactly 30 seconds. The default is 30 seconds, but you can make it longer. Yes?
Something about mine looks different than yours. Like there's a lot of stuff missing.
So let's reset the windows by going under Window, View, I meant. Okay, that's not showing up. Is there a way to reset the view? Let's try Window. This is hit the X in here, the render cube. Doesn't even let you close that. How about closing the red dot? Okay, let's try again. Shit.
This is the wrong one. This is render engine. Is that what it is?
This is the one you want.
Okay, so it's
Double click on it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this program is a great program. Hold on, let me start my video here. Oh, it is recording. So this is a great program to do basic stuff. Now remember we talked about vector earlier? So let's bring in some vector graphics. I included in that folder, I think, something called logo.ai. Did you see that in there? Let's bring that in. File, import, import. I'm going to go under File, Import, File. File, Import, File.
Jeff, I'm having no trouble connecting out of Jeans. So let me connect.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Didn't I make something called Logo AI? And bring that in. Logo AI. J. Raskoff, Bill Gates. Okay, so I brought my Illustrator file in. Notice it says vector art right there. So really cool. We'll be able to spin and make this thing fly in all kinds of different ways. ways. First thing I'm going to do, yes? Uh-huh. What's that? Okay, so again, we have a kind of a little logo. Now, before we do anything in this program, we're going to make a composition. So you'll notice over here it says composition. It says none. So to make a composition, I'm going to say under this term up here where it says composition here, I'm going to say new composition right here. And it's going to ask you what size you want. Again, the default is out to 30 seconds. Okay, and it's asking you, do you want high definition? You know, what size do you want your thing to be? I'm going to leave the default high definition, and I'm just going to hit OK. And it just makes a window that is right here that is in high definition. To zoom in and out, you can hit the command minus, command plus, command minus, command plus. You can see it has a nice big black window there. So let's, for fun things, we're going to learn that, you know, this program, and I know it's really dark here, but this program works by, has all kinds of effects that you can do right away. So how about we have snow, because there's a blizzard going to the East Coast. How about we have some snow going in the background. We'll have our logo come flying in, really big, fly into really small, real quick. We'll use some of the animation effects that I just told you about, ease in and ease out. And then we'll have some text come in, and each letter will come popping in on the screen, or we'll have the text fly in and it wiggles or something. Okay, so all kinds of cool effects. First, we want to put the snow in the background, right? Okay, so to do any of the effects, you need an object to put the effect on. Usually, a default object is just a rectangle. Okay, so we're going to put just a plain rectangle. You can give it a color if you want. We're going to make a plain rectangle to put in there. To put a plain rectangle, to put an effect in here, we go under Layer, New, Solid. Layer, New, Solid. Right there. And what that does is it puts a box. It asks you what kind of color you want. Now it says dark gray. We can change down at the bottom. You can change it. Since I'm doing snow, I'm going to do a dark blue. Again, right here is the color of the box. Right here. So again, it was layer, what did I just say? Layer, new something, right? New something. And I hit OK, and it makes a box. Okay, so to do anything, you need something to put it on. Like if I want to make a lens flare kind of fly across the screen, I need a box. If I want to make snow come down, I need a box. Now I have a box, let's put some snow on it. There's a lot of particles, and so this program is so much fun. You can play around with so many things, and so I recommend it. And then I have like 3 different books you can get. Yes?
Should the blue box or whatever color be the same size as the black box, or should it be?
It should be the same size. If you want your snow to be the same dimension.
Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So to put the snow in there, we're going to go underneath effects. There's all kinds of different effects inside there. And then, was it effects? Let me think of what I was doing. Snow effects. Where was I doing them? Snow effects. Generate. Was it snow? I swear there was a snow in here. Simulation. And, oh, there's rainfall.
Snowfall.
Where is there snowfall? Oh, there it is. That's the one. Snowfall. So I went under effects, simulation, snowfall, and it brings up snow. Now, if you just hit the space bar, you can see the snow starting to fall on your screen there. If you want to adjust your snow, so and you can't see it on my screen very well, but you can probably see it on your monitor, right? No.
Barely. I can see it barely.
You could change the size right here. It should open up some size, make it bigger. Big snow. You can change variations. You can change the speed if you want it to snow. So here we go. So here we go. Yeah, you can barely see it. Again, there should be some options for adjustments up in the side, in the corner after you apply it. You guys see some snow? Okay, so this is all fun. We got some snow. Double click on the file. Let's close this. I don't know. Where you're in Premiere. I'm using the program After Effects. You got some snow? Looks good. Okay, so you might want to use black. I don't know. I just use blue, and you can't really see it very well there. Okay, so let's work with our logo. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this. Pause it by hitting spacebar. You don't want it generating there. So to bring my logo in, I'm going to go to my my window. I don't know where my window is, where my logo went. So I just closed that effects window, close that panel in the upper corner to go back to my project panel. If you don't see the project panel, you might need to go under window, project. That should bring it. No, there's no project over there. I don't know. Oh, down here, project. Window, project. So in the project window, you should have your logo. I'm going to drag my logo out on the screen, and I'm going to talk about it briefly. Okay, so here's my logo. How was it made? It was made in Illustrator. Okay, so Illustrator is a vector-based program. Much of what we do in video is vector. Again, the advantage of doing and using vectors is that I can scale it as big and small as I want, and it looks crisp and clean and sharp. Like, you ever watch the sports effects on TV, right? You're watching the hockey game, you watch the Sharks game, you see those text flying around and all those things. Those are vector objects because they're nice and sharp if you look at them. They are sharp, crisp, and clean. Those programs are generating vectors, okay? They're objects that can be scaled big and small. Okay, so to do those things like this, I just randomly did some circles here. Let me quickly show you in Illustrator. Here is the file in Illustrator. Now, if you're going to make things in Illustrator, you can make them towards the same dimension that you would like as far as a video dimension. So to do a video dimension, if you go underneath File, New inside of Illustrator, you'll notice there is a size option in Illustrator, and right here you can go under Custom Profile and say Film and Video right here, Custom Profile. This is in Adobe Illustrator. There's a Film and Video option there, and then once you choose Film and Video, you can come down here and you can choose whatever video size you're working with. And since we're working in high definition, I would just choose HDV 1080, and that'll make a video dimensions. And then if you don't want to see checkerboard pattern or white pattern, you can go down here and say off. And if you hit OK, and these lines that you see here when you do this, these lines that you see inside of Premiere here are what's called title safe lines, because in the old TVs, on old television, the video usually was larger than the viewing area, so this was called TV safe. So sometimes the video area was bigger than the viewable area, And then the line on the inside is called the title safe, and that's giving you a warning. Don't put your title close to the edge. Okay, so this is called title safe. This was called what did I say? Frame safe? Okay, now I lost my term. What did I say this outside one was? I can't. Frame. Something like that. Okay, then I build my graphic in this and then save it as an Illustrator file. Illustrator works just fine in After Effects as well as in Premiere. You can bring that in. So somebody might give you a logo in the Illustrator format. You can use them in any of these programs. Okay, so let's animate it inside, and I'm not going to show you how to use this. We got a whole Illustrator class Monday, Wednesday, 12:30 to 1:55 every semester in this room. Look at the fabulous things. Okay. Okay, let's animate this. Again, this is a graphic. You can click on it and move it wherever you want on your screen. You can scale it if you want to be smaller or bigger. Notice how it does have a frame that's the size, and that's okay. It's going to be transparent around the outside. So I'm going to kind of put it in my lower corner here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this kind of spin, be transparent and spin really big and come flying in really quick and kind of stop here. Okay, stop here. So to do that, again, I'm going to use the scale, I'm going to use the rotation, and I'm going to use opacity. Three things. Rotation, so it spins. Opacity, so it fades in. And then position, so it moves. Okay, and scale, right? I did say scale. So just like I did inside of Premiere, I animate backwards. What I mean by animating backwards, I know where I want it to end up, right? I know I want it to be there. So I'm going to put a keyframe there. And then I'm going to go back in time and change it. So I animate backwards. Don't animate forward, backwards. So here we go. So I'm going to do this for, let's say, a half a second. Down here is time. And if you look at the time down here, you'll see you got time. So I'm going to go for about, usually I would do something like this for like, a half a second. But I'm going to exaggerate a little bit. So down here is time. So I'm going to put my cursor kind of, I don't know, between the 5 seconds. Oh, this is 30 seconds. This is 5 seconds. Yeah, half a second here. And to animate in this program, you animate by twirling down this triangle towards the edge here. So if you look down here, this timeline, right below where it says Comp 1, you'll see it says logo right there. And then here's our snow. Here's logo. And I'm going to twirl this triangle down right here. Once I twirl that triangle down, you'll see there's another one called transform. I'm going to twirl that one down. And you'll notice you have the same things that you had inside of Premiere, right? Remember in Premiere we were looking at that? Where we have anchor point, position, scale, rotation, opacity. So I'm going to do everything from scale, rotation, and opacity. I'm going to do scale, rotation, and opacity. Then again, I'm going to go back in time to the very first frame. I'm going to go back in time to the very first frame. Go all the way to the beginning. Same thing that I did inside of Premiere. And I'm going to hit the little diamonds. They have diamonds just like in Premiere. See the diamond here, diamond here, diamond here. And then I'm going to scale this up. To scale it up, in this program you can drag the numbers. So right now I have some numbers right here. I can scale this up by scaling this way, or I can scale by dragging the edge. If you could get to the edge, you can see the edge here. But that doesn't look very sharp, does it? It looks like I scaled up the pixels, didn't I? Look how blurry it is. Ah, because I didn't tell it to continuously raster the vector. So I scaled it up really big. And then for rotation, I'm going to put in maybe 15. And then for opacity, I'm going to put it at 0. Actually, no, I'm not going to do opacity. How about we put it at 20? Now, in order for it to do its sharp vector stuff, I'm going to use this button right here. This one right here in the timeline right here. You'll notice there's a button right here. This one is quality. And, no, not this one. Where's my vector? Is it this one? Vector layer. This one. This is the one. And let's do good quality. This one with the little star right here, this little one right here with the little in the timeline, it looks like a little star. It's kind of small, I know it, but it's right here. And if I hit the space bar now, you'll see what happens. And here, I'll make it bigger. So again, I made this object really, really large. I rotated it 15 times, and I gave it an opacity, and here it'll come in. So again, doing things like this, again, to make sure that it stays vector, click on this little, kind of looks like a light. Do you see it right there? Looks like a light. So after my logo comes flying in, I'm going to put some text on the screen. Okay, I'm going to twirl the triangles up here so I don't have to deal with that. This is done. I'm not going to mess with that anymore. You can even lock it so you don't have to mess with it. Notice how I can lock down here. There's little locks in this comp layer. There's little locks right here that you can lock it. So let's put some text on our screen. To put some text on our screen, there's a T all the way at the very top. It says T for horizontal text. I can click on that horizontal text option, and I can go and click next to my logo here, and I can type in some text. And I'm going to call mine sun and snow because this is kind of the sun and the snow's in the background. If I highlight my text, there should be some options over here for font if you want a different font. There's some text over here. Ooh, Angry Birds. There we go. There's a font. And we can change the size. Okay, so again, once you type in some text, you can actually adjust things over here. There's color here if you want to change the color. Again, the text tool is this one. It says text right here, and then I click on the screen and I type in some text. Ooh, I don't like the color of that. Let's make it a little brighter. Okay, so now the problem that we run into though is that the text starts at the very beginning. Okay, it starts at the very beginning. So in this case, it starts at the very beginning. So do you remember doing the stair-stepping that we did in Premiere? Remember the stair-stepping in Premiere? So if I wanted the text to come on after the logo, because the logo is animating, what, half a second here? You'll notice the layers I have is the sun and snow as my text. My logo is here, and then my background. So if I want my text to be later on, I can click on this and drag it over, and you want the starting point. So watch how I do that. If I want the text to start later and not at the very beginning, you can click on it right here, and you can move it over. See how I'm moving it? Look at this is the starting point right there. So I'm going to move it till after this comes flying in, and then boom, my text will come on. Okay, my text will come on. So there's all kinds of pre-made text effects in this program. Lots of them, lots and lots and lots of them. And I think you should spend maybe a couple hours just going through and trying them and seeing what they do. To find the text effects in this program, mostly I use them underneath the effects and presets option right here. If you don't see it under effects and presets, it's over in the right side. It should say effects and presets. If you don't see that, you can go under window and bring up effects and presets as well. Again, it's under window, effects and presets. in the effects and presets, there should be one that says text. Text. So you might need to scroll down. You might need to scroll down, and the one that says text. Oh no, that's not the one I want. Sorry, not that one. Animation presets at the top. I'm sorry. Animation presets at the top. I'm going to twirl that one down, and then I'm going to go to text underneath that. Again, these are all pre-made animations that you can do. And again, it's under animation presets, the very first option, and then I'm going to go to the one that says text. And so these are all things you can do to your text to get them to do that. And so you can go through and try them. Some of the ones I like is animate in. And if I go to the animate in, these are all things that get your text to come onto the screen. You can have it center spiral. You can have character shuffle, drop in character, espresso eye chart. I don't know what that is. And fade up characters, fade out lines, fly in with a twist. That sounds cool. I'm going to try that one. So if you want to try one, again, where am I finding these? These are underneath animation presets, underneath text, and I'm trying some of the animate in ones, and I'm going to try the fly in with a twist. To do it, you just drag it from this window onto your text and release the mouse and then see what it does. Oh, that's pretty boring. If it looks boring, you can undo it. Let's try another one. How about we get one that says spin in by word, spin in by character. How about that? Spin in by character. I'm going to try that one. And let's see what that one does. Well, that's a little bit better. Did you see that? Oh, hi. Oh, my key doesn't work on that, though. Okay. Right on. So, again, you can see spin in by character. Just undo it and try another one. Let's try straight. What's this one? Twist on one word. Oh, typewriter. Wipe until center. Random shuffle. Let's try random shuffle in. Oh, that doesn't look very good. It starts on the screen. You would have to adjust that. I don't know. Let's try some other ones. Lights and optical. Well, let's try some of these. Blue flash. Let's try that one. Blue flash. There we go. That was better. Did you see that one? Blue flash. That was a good one. How about bubble pulse? Bubble pulse. Whoosh. That's a little crazy. How about fluorescent lights? Fluorescent lights. Uh-oh, that looks like Stranger Things, doesn't it? Didn't Stranger Things ones come in like that? Yeah, kind of like Stranger Things. Spin flash. Ooh, sonar ping. Let's try that one. Okay, so there's all kinds of cool effects you can do to your titles in this program. Great program for making titles. Think of watch the ones that you see on TV, and you can try and figure out which ones they used. Put some text on the screen. You got text on the screen? Yeah. You have it there. Yeah. Animation presets is the first option. And I'm using text. Okay. Those are the effects I'm using for my readings. You want to change it on the keyframe now. So hit this arrow right here. That arrow. We'll take you to the keyframe. So now you're on that keyframe. So this is how many times you want it to go. So see that? So if you wanted to rotate, say 4 times, you put 4 in here. You don't have to give it any degrees.
Now I know there's a lot to this program. I know there's a lot to it. It just takes time. Oh, that's okay. It's saying I'm getting kicked out of the Big Mac server. Yes?
I just want some help adding the effect on.
Okay. So practice those titles, and then we'll